Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 447. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. I am happy you're here with me. Today's blog is about the NEA. I mean, it had to happen. I think maybe it didn't. Maybe I didn't need to say anything. I don't know. I'm sitting with it, but I did say something, so I'm gonna read it to you. I don't think there's anything I need to say before that, so I'm just gonna. It is called, yes, of course I feel bad about the NEA stuff. It's very possible I'm just becoming numb to the relentless cruelty and bad decisions happening in our country. But the news about the National Endowment for the Arts didn't bother me nearly as much as I would have thought. Maybe if it had happened first, like before USAID and before all the deportations that are really kidnappings and before all the privacy violations and before all the flagrant attacks on the First Amendment, maybe I'd be more upset. But when the news broke about the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, revoking funding it had previously granted, I didn't feel nearly as bad as I felt I should. It is awful, of course. Many arts organizations were counting on that funding to do their shows, implement their programs, pay their artists, continue their missions. It is genuinely terrible, of course. That's money the federal government promised them and then pulled away like a governmental Lucy yanking the football out from under Charlie Brown. There is nothing good about it. But I confess to feeling a small amount of schadenfreude at first. As someone who has never been even close to receiving federal funds, I felt a little pettiness sneak in. Like, let's see how the big boys like dealing with economic precarity. Welcome to the club, big boys. And it didn't help that the first victim of this funding loss was Playwrights Horizons to the tune of $25,000. No disrespect to them. They do good work. They produced my friend's hit show. I'm glad they exist. But they are an enormous organization. They had over $23 million in assets in 2023. They put $25K into one of their administrators' 401k that year. $25,000 is peanuts to them. They won't even put up a small portion of a full production with $25,000. Meanwhile, my little company has never had a budget as big as their tiny loss from the feds, not even close. I mean, do I feel bad for the people whose project that was meant to fund? Not yet. I mean, as soon as they become real to me, I'm sure I will feel bad because it's likely that program that money was allocated for was not the big ticket, sexy money-making show, but the side project that they felt they wanted to support tangentially. That's why it's only $25K, and it's probably for the public good, which is why they could get a federal grant for it. So yes, in theory, I feel bad for them. But I feel worse for all the people who are going to die because of the federal government pulling USAID programs that were helping keep people alive throughout the world. Honestly, I'd be surprised if anyone with integrity could continue to receive funds from this government, which seems to only want to fund vanity projects for the president. I'd be more worried about programs that didn't lose their funding in this climate. Are they doing the Golden Trump the King musical? Because that's the kind of thing getting those federal dollars these days. So, yes, I do feel bad for those who aren't getting money they were counting on. Farmers, HIV programs, Head Start, and yes, Playwrights Horizons. But I'm finding it challenging to get worked up about it. It's making me feel kind of mean and ungenerous, which is not how I like to think of myself. What's coming up for me is a kind of inevitability and a petulant, peevish sulk. Like, if this arts culture wanted my full-throated support, it might have included me in mine a long time ago. Arts culture here is so dramatically full of the haves and the have-nots, and like most things here, the top 1% get all the goodies, and the 99% get a lot of disrespect. I have been in countries where the arts are respected as a whole, and you don't need to have risen to the top of the heap to have your artistry recognized in those places. Those countries understand that an arts ecosystem is made of many layers, and that all parts of the forest are valuable. That has never been the case here in the United States, at least not in my lifetime. And now, here we are in a situation where the top 1%, or more accurately, the top 0.03%, are losing their funding. And I'm finding it hard to work up the outrage. Maybe if I'd ever been treated as part of the field, I'd feel more solidarity with the organizations for whom $25K is just a drop in the giant bucket. But I just don't feel as bad as I feel I should. In an arts culture with this much inequality, it is very easy to pit us against each other. After all, every time I apply for a grant, I am competing for like $1,000 with other artists. In this extreme scarcity, it is hard to experience any real solidarity. Maybe if I had seen any solidarity moving in the other direction, I'd be able to feel some for those at the top of the heap now. But most folks who make it get up there and start accounting for all the ways their particular attributes earned them their success. Yes, congratulations, you're great. But yet, see, this is where I have to self-correct because I know it's not just Playwrights Horizons that lost funding. A lot of the grants at this level that are now revoked are specifically designed to help rectify some major imbalances in the arts culture. Many of those grants were created to help fix major inequalities and injustices. Bigger organizations are always more likely to receive funds, but these grants that have been revoked are largely for things perceived as diversity, equity, and inclusion. So yes, I know how bad it is. Of course, it's once again the more vulnerable, the marginalized who are set to suffer. And here I am feeling schadenfreude about big organizations getting a little taste of precarity. I do feel bad. Just maybe not as bad as I feel I should. Should we fight it? Yes. The NEA should not get to renege on its contracts, even as Trump aims to get rid of it. Also, Trump shouldn't get to kill the NEA. On the other hand, the NEA has been so hamstrung for so many years, I'm not sure it isn't already mostly dead. An arts funding body with no funds to give isn't much of a funding body. But it is probably better than no arts body at all. So yes, we need it. I don't expect I will ever see a single federal dollar myself, and I don't need to want a vibrant, well-supported arts culture. That's what I really dream of. I'm aware this whole post makes me seem like a jerk. But I am hopefully on record in support of the arts across the board, such that I can trust you know where I'm coming from with this. I obviously want everyone to get their funding back. No one should have to lose support they were promised. Just because Trump is running this country like his business is by never paying those he is contractually obligated to, doesn't mean artists should have to experience such Scroogey reneging. I think you know I don't actually want any artists to suffer, no matter how successful they are, or how bitter I may be. But I felt like it might be important to address some of this stuff because I guarantee you that I am not the only person to have some complicated feelings about this particular piece of bad news. The NEA has revoked funding it promised, and Trump has proposed a budget where they do away with it. and the National Endowment for the Humanities entirely. Meanwhile, they'll be focusing on faith-based initiatives, according to the letter sent to one arts organization. They're also planning on funneling that previously allocated money to something called a Garden of American Heroes. I would so much rather have Playwrights Horizons get what they were promised, though apparently they've now raised enough funds to nearly cover the difference, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay. It is bad. It is very bad. But if you aren't seeing a lot of artists in the street about it, it's because the field is fractured and full of complications. An arts culture that has already been devalued, as the American arts have been, is not necessarily one that's ready to take up the cause for the 0.03%. I'm not saying that's right, but I do get the sense that it is a large factor. It seems important to acknowledge that fact if we're going to get anywhere in doing something about it. Most artists I know are busy being mad about all the other things. For us, it can feel like the battle for the arts was already lost a long time ago. I thought I might make some people mad with this one, but if they're mad, they didn't let me know, so I guess I'm off the hook. I think I felt like I had to engage with this because I'm seeing a lot of kind of performative fighting for it that doesn't feel heartfelt. Like I'm seeing a lot of artists who feel like they need to say something because it's kind of politically advantageous to, not because they feel like this is the thing. I think it feels like such a losing battle, but a lot of people feel like they got to do it anyway. Have you noticed this thing where people feel like they have to post about a celebrity's death or just like an event? It feels a little bit like everyone feels like they need to put out a press release for anything that happens. And I don't think that's a good quality of social media, that like all humans now feel like they need to make a statement. Mostly I steer clear of that. But with this one, I think because I was just seeing so many of my fellow theater makers especially feel like they needed to, be public on this particular topic, that I also felt like I needed to be public on this particular topic, but in my own complex and kind of cranky way. Ta-da! Anyway, I also just feel like it's probably a losing battle. Like, of all the things we think, like, as we like try and scrape back the barest minimum of like civil rights or, foreign aid or anything, like it just like this one, like I don't like the feeling of just being like, fine. Because that's not genuinely how I feel. Like, of course, we have to fight it, but it just feels like the odds of winning it are so slim. I mean, just given that it's always the arts that get cut from anything first. School budgets, state budgets. It's just like, oh, what are we going to cut? Obviously the arts. So I just feel like, I don't know. There are probably fights that we could win better. I don't know. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I would like to be wrong. Wouldn't it be great if I was wrong? I'd be so happy to be wrong. Okay, so what am I going to play for you? Well, as you may recall, the last time I talked about federal funding, I was contemplating doing Party in the USA, but instead found a song called Federal Funding by Cake, which was super fun. And so I had to do that one. And here I felt like, okay, I'm back on this topic. Now it must be time for Party in the USA, because boy, is it a party in the USA right now, isn't it? I tried not to overdo the irony that I'm feeling about having a party in the USA right now. I tried to be a little bit sincere. I'm not sure I was successful, and that's okay. You know why I'm singing this song. You don't need me to give you the party atmosphere, I suspect. So I'm going to play you Party in the USA very shortly. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate getting to share my thoughts with you. And if you would like to support this experience, that would be so great. One way to do that is to like, review, or subscribe in your various podcast apps. You can also support this podcast with money, which would be so helpful. Patreon.com/Emily R. Davis is the hot spot. And it sounds like I don't have to change my payment model. I didn't get that news directly from Patreon, but I saw a podcast newsletter that was saying because Apple lost this lawsuit with Patreon is not enforcing this whole thing that was supposed to happen in November. But I haven't heard that officially from Patreon, just via these various newsletters. So I hope that's true. In any case, regardless, you can support me on Patreon. I have 2 Patreons in case you don't like the current model, which is the per creation. That's patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. But if you were like, you know what, I just want to do it like the way everybody's doing it now and do the membership model, you can also do that. And that is patreon.com/Emily Rainbow Davis. And they're the same. I do less kind of engagement on Emily Rainbow Davis. One, because it's just not set up the same way. So you sort of get things in bigger chunks over there. But, if that's a game changer for you, let me know. I can always post more stuff over there. It's just I don't think anyone over there really needs me to. So anyway, that's Patreon news. There's also Ko-fi. There's PayPal. If you would like to join my Substack as a paid subscriber, I think you can do that. No one has ever done it, so I actually don't know if it works, but I think you can do that. And if you have a place that you like to support artists, let me know. I will join it. I'm everywhere. So, yeah, and mostly I thank you for listening. And I'm going to give you Party in the USA, which is a song that I think I paid absolutely no attention to when it came out. And I can't remember what made me pay attention to it a few years ago, but I did. And this is now, I think, my second Miley Cyrus cover. It may be even my third, but I think it's a second. Well, I'll check. Meanwhile, though, let me just go ahead and play you Party in the USA. Hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Jumped in a cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right, I see the Hollywood sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody's looking so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. Cause when the taxi man turned on the radio and a Jay-Z song was on, and a Jay-Z song was on, and a Jay-Z song was on, and I put my hands up, they're playing my song, the butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like, yeah, moving my hips like, yeah. I put my hands up, they're playing my song, you know I'm gonna be okay. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. Say yeah. It's a party in the USA. Get to the club in my taxi cab. Everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that chick that's rocking kicks? She gotta be from out of town. So hard with my girls not around me. It's definitely not a Nashville party, 'cause all I see are stilettos. Guess I never got the memo. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous, 'cause when the DJ dropped my favorite tune and a Britney song was on, and a Britney song was on, and a Britney song was on, and I put my hands up, they're playing my song, the butterflies fly away. Not in my head like, yeah, moving my hips like, yeah. I put my hands up, they're playing my song, you know I'm gonna be okay. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. Feel like I've been on a flight back to my hometown tonight. Something stops me every time. The DJ plays my song and I feel alright. So I put my hands up, they're playing my song, the butterflies fly away. Not in my head like, yeah, moving my hips like, yeah. I put my hands up, they're playing my song, you know I'm gonna be okay. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. So I put my hands up, they're playing my song, the butterflies fly away. Not in my head like, yeah, moving my hips like, yeah. I put my hands up, they're playing my song, you know I'm gonna be okay. Say yeah, it's a party in the USA. I say yeah, it's a party in the USA.